Best feeling in the world.
And then you smell it.
Also best smell in the world for sure. Yep. Only Walid knows I was late already 5-6 times. Oh, come on, let's go, baby. It's one of the things that we don't find as much anymore with the children these days, you know?
Yeah.
Just hitting the balls with some focus, but still having fun doing it, finding your rhythm, finding your timing. Not having the coach with you, not having your parents with you, but just simply just kind of, there's a lot of mistakes and how you're managing the mistakes and especially these kids when they're not in their full confidence and stuff, just trying to allow them to grow as humans also, not just robot tennis players. And I think this is really important part of the process as well.
Exactly. See, it's, you know, sometimes when you're coach and you start hitting, you're like, it's hard.
Yeah.
And I've been playing tennis like 25 years now. And you're like, okay, now when I still do the mistake, how can a kid like start playing 3 years ago, not do the mistake?
Impossible. Impossible. Okay, speaking of mistakes, let's not mistake him to stop too long because the older body takes a bit longer to get going up.
The older one?
Yeah. Favorite things is having people watching. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
Miss the
old, just as interested as when we were younger.
Miss the old days.
Yeah, it was good like that. Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
Tout le monde qui me connaît bien, c'est que tout droit dans le sens du terrain pour un repart, hein?
Ooh.
Four hands in the middle.
Oh mon gars, je sais pas quoi faire.
Sorry. Couple balls flying. Oh shit. Sorry, late.
You got it?
Come, your turn. Oh no. Oh, come on, man. You gotta put that on camera like that. Hitting with the wall was always such a good partner back in the days. Was always there. Never missed. Never beat him.
Do we still have that?
I don't know if kids hit on walls anymore.
Do we still have that?
In what sense?
Like, are there still walls to hit with?
Yeah, lots of school walls, bibliothèque walls still. There's library walls. There's different kinds of walls that for sure someone wants to go hit somewhere, they could. Do they even think about it now with everything in their hands these days? You know, they got so much technology, so many different Netflix and Cribs and all kinds of TVs to watch. And maybe they're not as bored as we were back in our days.
You know, I don't know if I can say that, but I have a conversation with my mom, and she used to tell me, when you were a kid, we used to pull you from your ears to come from outside to home. Now we're doing the opposite thing. We're pulling them
in the house,
out of the house to go outside, just go and play.
Yeah.
You don't want to play. Like, I remember someone telling me how to move, that exactly what he said. How to move, because I was already moving because I was playing outside every time, like playing basketball, playing football, soccer, everything. So my body just used to move. So that's why I think we're more like able to produce stuffs more than
there was
this
no
generation.
specialization either at our age. Like I'm sure you, like me, didn't know you're going to be a tennis player until a certain age. Whereas these kids decide they're going to be a tennis player at very young ages, you know, 6, 7. Parents are deciding for the kids. Kids are coming into the world of tennis, specializing and getting to a certain point where sometimes it's like too much. And I think they need to let them play. They need to let them make mistakes. And I think this is going to help them so much for their kids' just development overall. Instead of being like, okay, private lesson, private coach, fitness coach, psychologist. The kid's 8. I truly believe there's no high-performing 112-year-olds in the world. I don't believe in this. It's my way. I know other people do believe in it, but under 12 specialist, the guy's the best player in the world today. You see the best player in the world in 10 more years. Few exceptions, yeah, but the majority no. So kids need to get back to playing and doing their things, and multi-sporting is up until 10 and 11, and then deciding what they want to do, and not the parents deciding what they're going to do for their kids.
Exactly.
This is also very
It's coming back to what you said about the wall. I don't think, how can kids go and play with the wall? And when the parents came here, they're like, which group my kid is? Because he's gonna be with better players or weaker, because I don't want my kid. How old is your kid? 9.
Yeah.
How can you like just decide what your kid want to do at 9? He doesn't know if he's not good, he's not better than anyone and not weaker than anyone. So you cannot decide at 9. Just let him have fun.
Yeah, and discover it. And discover it on their terms. And if they start asking for more and more, then you provide it if you can as a parent. But I don't think you want to provide everything without the kid necessarily asking for it. This is also a little bit of a danger that we see a lot more today than we used to see back in the days. There was not all these programs and high-performance coaches and fitness trainers and psychologists and nutritionists all inside a program. It's like you had a coach and there were like 16, 20 players in the group, and you're hitting balls and you're just trying to get off to be seen a little bit and get on the top first court and play with the best players in the groups to get better. But there was not all this extra like, my kid's going to be the #1 player in the world in 5-6 years guaranteed. Their parents weren't talking like that back then, and they do a lot more now today. And I think we see it in the kids. We see 12 and under and 10 and under and 14 and under tournaments, and kids are getting pretty mad. But we used to see this in 16, 18s, 19, 20 because kids were going to scholarships and stuff.
But you see it when the kids are playing matches and they're like super negative. That means that they don't like it. They're not enjoying the fact that they play tennis. Like I don't.
Pressure.
I think when I was a kid, I used to come to tennis club at 8 and go out at 9 p.m. Like not even my mom comes to see me. I go home by my own. I figure out how to eat and stuff because I loved being on court. So just having fun with the guys. We don't know what we are doing, but we just
we're having a lot of fun doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Last one?
Yeah, same.
Professional.
Even Federer used to shank him.
That's how professional do it.
Oh, I gotta go.
Let's go.
That's you, that's you.
Oh, yes.
Too good. Too sweet.
Do you remember when, I think in the period that we both were playing, it was these Spanish guys. They had one tactic, like you can play 30 Spanish in the same tournament, but they are the same tactics.
Inside out forehand 2 times, inside in 1 time.
Exactly. But they make it happen. Like you're suffering against these guys that do a simple drill, like simple one. And when I was kid, I was so like, why? He keeps the ball in the court, but I was not seeing that the guy was like cross, 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 and then stop. Like, okay, let's go backhand, cross, 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 and then get frustrated, and boom, when I hit the ball. It's simple. Just make the other one move, and that's all. And sometimes kids plays YouTube tennis.
YouTube tennis, yes, or TSN highlight tennis.
Exactly.
So the little clips that they see of the tweener and the drop and the this and that, they don't really sit down and watch 3 hours of tennis and see those constant up and downs of the match and how one player is trying to do just one thing specific to the other guy and the other guy is trying to do one thing specific to him.
I know you're gonna be, you're gonna agree with me, but it's tennis in television. It's not the same as the real tennis that we see in M15, M25, and the ITFs like G30 and stuff. Tennis is much complicated than what the kids think. They see it in Sinner and Alcaraz. They play so easy because they get to that level and they make it super easy. But when you play F15 and you have to qualify, I don't think you're gonna go for a winner in 40, 30, 4-3 for you and third set. I don't think you're gonna go for a big winner. You're gonna put it inside and wait until the other one do the mistake.
Especially when you're living at the motel, you took the bus to get there.
Exactly.
And you know if you don't win that match, you have no more money in your bank account.
Yeah.
Especially that, you know, and I think that's also another reality of tennis that's going on right now too is, you know, we see the guys on TV making their living, but a lot of the kids and the parents and the other coaches that have not been on tour and stuff, I think they don't understand the grind of the tour and how there's a lot of guys out there grinding their life off to just try to get through to this top 100 spot. And there's 100 guys that are eating off tennis right now. And I know we got guys like Novak and stuff that are, Bacek, shout out to our Canadian player, that are doing a lot of philanthropy for the players and trying to find ways to have an annual salary for top 250 players and stuff like that. And tennis needs this. I think moving forward, we need this for tennis so badly. We need some entertaining kind of guys. We need guys like Alcaraz to really step up and continue to do what he's doing. We can't just have sinners. You know, he's a great player for the game too, but we've always had the contrast of the good and the bad. We've always had the contrast of the flashy and the not flashy. And you need the personalities, you know, it's what grew tennis, it's what hooked us on tennis over the years. Guys like Agassi and stuff in the beginning when we were young, flamboyant and stuff like that. And then, you know, guys like Murat and Hewitt and guys like that coming out in the next generations and just kept continuing. You always got some characters out there that keep tennis fun.
Exactly.
Like Kyrgios and stuff, you know, you love him or hate him, I love him. The talent he had, you know, the guy who just not mature enough at certain periods, didn't realize all the opportunities he had. And when you look at him now at the end of his career, he's trying to win a Grand Slam now. He'd love to win a Grand Slam, you know, but we need those characters. We need those personalities, the John Max, the Jimmy Connors, you know, the Andy Roddicks. These guys made tennis exciting. They made it flamboyant. They made it stylish. They, you know, and we need that. We cannot just have sinners running the tour for years to come.
People see what's happened to Kyrgios or Bublik or the guys are not serious. But please, come on, he was top 10 and top 20. What do you think how he made it over there? Like, the guy works, he gets there, and yes, he didn't manage to keep it a long time, but
he got there.
Are you people who come and talk to me sometimes, no, like I want to be, my kid wants to be serious, playing tennis like Sinner, but not like Kyrgios or like Bublik. Okay, your kid is not even well ranked in his own country, so you wish if your kid was Kyrgios and Bublik. So just, man, he just beat Sinner like 2 weeks ago or something like this. Can you? No. So work. That's behind the scenes. We called it behind the scene, and people just saw what it's easier. Oh, I want my kid to win money over tennis. Yeah, but you have to put money so your kid can win money after that.
Parents wanting things for their kids, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna invest some money into my kid, this amount, and I expect my kid now to be here. And we all know, like, if you want a private coach and a private fitness trainer and a private psychologist, we're talking about 100 grand a year. And okay, and sometimes kids are in programs at like 7,000, 8,000. They're splitting these fees of the coaches and the courts and all the equipments that go in these programs, and they're splitting it with the 24 other kids. And then you've got parents that are asking for some sort of specialized service. You're gonna take only care of my kid, and the other 23 kids, what about them? I think this is another part that becomes also interesting as we move forward with tennis in 2025, programs being so more serious and everything like that, but still having parents seeing the result of a kid at 12, 11, 10, 13, 14, and then expecting for the coach or the academy or the club or the program to kind of not focus on the other ones that are not performing as well in order to give all the attention to that one that is. And I think this is one of the biggest dangers we face in tennis, because who the hell knows who's going to be the best player in the future? Not me, not you. I don't have a crystal ball. And we have no clue that if today the guy is number one in the 12s, in the 14s, will he be again in the future? I don't know.
How many kids did you just... We all said that he's good, and at some point you just meet his dad or his mom or even the player and you're like, oh, how are you? What are you doing now? I stopped playing tennis. You were good. Yeah, but I never liked it.
I've seen a lot of national champions 12s that didn't play tennis at 16. I myself am a very late starter of tennis. So I was an athlete in other sports before competing. And then I decided, okay, at 12, I'm gonna stop all other sports. I'm gonna focus on the hardest sport in the world. I'm gonna play tennis. So I started playing tennis, and 12, 13, 14, I must have lost so many matches, 6-0, 6-0. So many matches. Even my mom and dad sometimes looking at me like, Ricky, are you okay with this? You're okay with losing week after week after week? You don't want to stop? You were good in the other sports. Maybe you should go back to... And they were trying to like discourage me from tennis at one point to go to play the other sports. And I love that challenge. I love the challenge of tennis, of like fighting out there. And I also love the challenge of knowing when I was 12, 13, 14, I knew exactly who the top national players were right away. I figured it out quickly, looking at the draws, checking the magazines back then for the rankings, and I just wanted to beat these guys. Like, I was so hungry in the back of my mind, in the back of the scenes, in the back of the last courts, and I'm gonna catch these guys. And I remember how they used to walk around, these guys, you know, with a certain like confidence in themselves and stuff, and how I used to feel like in the locker room with my shoulders down, my eyes down and stuff, and like they were better than us, you know? And at 15, 16, when I started to be able to beat these guys that had been beating my butt up for the last 3-4 years, they started to stop tennis. And it started to become like an objective. Like, I had these guys in my room on a wall that had beaten me at 12, 13, 14, and now I started to beat them. And I started to scratch when they stopped playing tennis. And I started to realize that the list, there was no more players at one point. They all stopped. And then I coached the next generation for a decade, and I coached another decade after that. And I realized it's often the case. I love the late bloomer. I love that kid who's been playing a bit of hockey, a bit of baseball, a bit of soccer. He's 13 now. He's telling you he wants to really play 12, 11. I really want to play. He's late. You see him in the courts everywhere, practicing on the weekends. You find him everywhere, practicing his serve, playing all the tournaments. And you see this player keep getting better and better. And you see those ones that were the best that kind of just start to drop. And there's kind of this switch in time. And that's why for me, like, I have my own kids now too. And I try to make them understand the long-term things. Like, no matter what they're going to do, what sport they're going to play, or focus to develop on the long term. Don't think about winning today at 10, 11, 12, 13. It's not the important parts. It's to grow up, to develop your character, your values and stuff like this, and that will help you in the future.
Exactly.
And I wish a lot of parents had this mindset.
It's the day my coaching like method changed is when I figure out that I'm not coaching players, I'm coaching human beings. So my job and my rule was to make them a better person, a person that can go out and be confident, someone who can rely on himself, someone who can face everything with courage and faith, and he never like show that he's weak or something like this. And we talked about it too many times. Myself, I perform better when I'm under pressure. Like when things are not good, I'm like, okay. I used to be on that spot every time when I used to play tennis and losing the first set and it's 2-1 for the other guy, and I sit and I put the towel on my face and I'm like, I need to find solutions. And come on, let's go. I lose or I win, but I so satisfied because I can see that I fought for something. Like I need to go and look for a solution, and it makes me super happy. Like
living well in the chaos.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like dancing in the storm, you know, just learning to be comfortable in the adversity. And I think we've talked about this many times together, but I think that's what tennis taught. When we refer to our background, I think it taught us this lesson a lot. You know, being in tough times, being in tough moments, whether it was sleeping on the floor of the hotel, sleeping in the car because there's no more money, taking the extra 3 buses to get to the next tournament, or I think these forge your character, these moments, and I think they just make you comfortable at being uncomfortable. And then you might have other people growing up that are really comfortable all their life, and when they're a little bit uncomfortable after, they're really uncomfortable. So no matter where we started and where we are today, I'm really happy that we started where we started. We started from the bottom, and then you're moving up and you're learning the life. But when things get tough today, in this day and age, at my age now, today 43, I get kind of excited because I know that I can perform in these moments the best.
and I think the new generation is like more protective. They protect their kids. They're more into when we used to play, it was like the parents and the coach against the kid.
Yeah.
Not against, but it's
The 2 adults working to help the kid get better.
exactly. Now it's parent
And kid.
and kid against the coach. You have to work harder. Why you say that to my kid? He's working hard. If I say it, it means that it's not. So let me do my work. That's what I think what makes our job now super complicated, because the parents wants to do the job with us. Like, man, you're a lawyer. I don't come to your office and tell you what to do. So let me do my job.
Well, let's go see the open heart surgery guy and be like, listen, I think you should use that tool and not
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Imagine, like, and it's true. Like, you know, we're professionals for a long time. We've played, we've competed, we've coached, we've done certifications, we've done education, continual education on this for years. We've been around for a long time, and you know, I think it's really important that parents and players have confidence in the teams and have confidence in the coaches, and understand that it's a long process too. It's no magic wand that I come in now and okay, I take this player and all of a sudden next month he has results. Maybe the coach that did the 3 years of work before me and I just said 1 or 2 magic words, made it unclick, but that's not my result. You know what I mean? That's the result of the coach who put in a lot of work before this. So it's very interesting. Like you said, the next gen, this gen, moving forward, the parents, the way life is, the cultures, the vision, especially here in North America, a little bit different than what we're seeing in Europe still and in other parts of the world. So, you know, we see kids now that are smashing rackets on the court, won the match, and the parents said, good job, at least you won today. Yeah, man, if I would have won a match 0-0 and busted my racket, I was in big trouble the next day, like big trouble. And the message was clear. It's not about winning and losing, Ricky. It's about acting properly and making us proud.
Exactly.
I remember my mom so many times saying to me, like, please, don't throw your racket and don't swing.
I was
You win, you lose, I don't care. But please, don't embarrass me.
That's exactly. It was me with my contract. I was more afraid of my mom than my contract with Wilson. It was like every time it was like, okay, if you broke a racket, I'm like, if I broke it, my mom is gonna kill me.
Yeah.
So not just don't throw it. So it was always like this. But it's
Kids these
right.
days are throwing the racket, kicking the racket, throwing it, telling their parents, I don't know what, and blah, 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 and getting off the court, but found a way to win and getting a high five and
Yeah.
good job.
So get a banana.
How do us, with our values and the way we see things, help those parents? It's like impossible. When you go see the parent, you're like, well, you know what? If it was up to me today, I'd go make your kid run for 25 minutes. And I would give a little consequence to the situation so that he learns that this is not acceptable. And the answer from the parent, but he.
Talking with the eye of outsider, and coming from the other side of the sea. When I started doing my discovery here, I saw that we're trying to overprotect. It's not protecting, it's overprotecting the kid. It's very dangerous because the kid now has the authority on court more than the coach. You cannot talk to him, you cannot yell at him, you cannot push him to give his, like, we agree that tennis is a pressure sport. So how can I not teach your kid to be in a pressure sport and then make him just go to the tournament and win it? You cannot. We cannot work like this. We need to make him learn how to work under pressure and perform, compete, and keep focusing and stuff. But how can I do it and like talk to my kid? It's okay if you miss it this time. It's you're gonna make it next time. And if not, what should I do? No, no consequences, nothing like that. How can the kid like see that that's really important?
It's a tough situation for sure, and moving forward, I guess it's going to be our job to educate. I think the more we talk about our stories a little bit, the more that we explain where we came from, understanding that a lot of things have changed, and there's always a balance somewhere to find that is best for everybody, I guess. I wish parents would just let us do our job. My kids are in programs here at Sani Sport as well. I come check them like once every couple of weeks to just give a little 15-minute look, make sure their attitudes are good and make sure they're giving effort and listening to the coaches, and I walk away and that's pretty much the end of it. I have some parents that are sitting in the windows for 5 days a week, 2-3 hours a day, and just watching every second and every moment and defending and justifying with the kids and discussing with the kids. I didn't discuss tennis with my dad. I discussed tennis with my coach. I discussed tennis with my colleagues and my friends and peers, But this is part of the thing that we need to keep figuring out. That's for sure. Yeah. Listen, Walid, today was a pleasure hitting a couple balls with you today.
Too.
Always a pleasure
Always.
To talk tennis with you and just to pick your mind a little bit too, and your philosophies on how you see things on the other side of the sea and how you've seen things on this side of the sea over the last couple of years. And I look forward to continuing to work with you and having you help us create future champions and helping us educate the parents also to let the kids be kids, let the kids fail, let them fail harder, and let them get back up, and they'll just be stronger in the future. And that I want the culture to be safe, I want the culture to be respectful, and I want everybody to have the environment where as humans they can evolve and maximize. But I also want them to become little warriors where they can understand the future and be respectful and be able to face adversity with the good attitudes. And I know with coaches like you around me, we'll be able to get this mission accomplished, that's for sure.
My pleasure.
So thanks everybody for coming out. Thanks for hitting with me today. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Ricky.
Let's keep doing what we do.
Of course.